You have a massive project due tomorrow, so you initiate total lockdown mode. You close every browser tab, engage 3 different website blockers, and turn your phone off completely. Then comes the final, supposedly foolproof step. You set a strict 25-minute Pomodoro timer to force yourself to work. But the moment you click start, your chest gets tight. The rhythmic ticking of that clock carries the visceral weight of a countdown on an explosive device. Cut to 5 minutes later. You aren't typing. You're standing in your kitchen, aggressively scrubbing baked-on tomato sauce out of the microwave. By perfectly blocking every digital distraction, you created a vacuum. Your desperate brain simply bypassed your software blocks and found a physical distraction instead. This specific microwave scrubbing failure exposes the dirty secret of the productivity industry. Time management tools do not and cannot cure chronic procrastination. For decades, society has told us that putting things off is a character flaw. If you don't do the work, you are simply lazy. A growing body of neuroscience reveals a different reality. Procrastination is an issue of emotional regulation. When you look at a daunting, complex task, your brain registers negative feelings. You experience acute anxiety, severe boredom, or fear of failure. We see this mapped in the brain. The amygdala, the fear center, misinterprets negative emotions as a literal physical threat. The alarm expands, overriding the prefrontal cortex, the area for planning. It shuts down goal-oriented pathways, triggering a freeze or flight response, demanding immediate emotional relief. Once this biological hijack occurs, your planner is useless. No amount of sheer willpower can outschedule a nervous system that is locked into survival mode. Let's look back at that 25-minute Pomodoro timer from earlier through this biological lens. If your amygdala is already terrified of failing at a massive project, introducing a ticking clock doesn't motivate you. It acts as a pressure cooker, amplifying the perceived threat level in your nervous system. Your digital website blockers fail for the exact same reason. A hijacked brain is frantic to repair its mood, so it will easily circumvent a software wall to find relief elsewhere. Which brings us to the kitchen. Scrubbing the microwave provided an immediate, low-effort hit of dopamine, the exact self-soothing action your hijacked brain demanded. Relying on rigid disciplinary systems when you are experiencing an internal emotional threat consistently backfires. You end up making the procrastination worse. To actually beat procrastination, you have to stop trying to manage your time and start lowering the emotional threat of the task itself. The first intervention for this is a technique called affect labeling. This requires explicitly naming the exact negative emotion you are feeling right before you attempt to work. Here is the neuroscience behind why that works. The simple act of attaching a descriptive tag to an emotion physically cools down and deactivates the glowing amygdala. This biological reality is why modern tools like the Focumi app are designed to replace outdated countdown timers entirely. This is Focumi's interface. Instead of starting a clock, the morning check-in feature forces you to label your emotional block, diffusing the brain's panic button before the work ever begins. Naming the fear provides the specific cognitive handle needed to biologically disarm the brain's alarm system. The second intervention involves breaking the physical freeze state. When you are acutely paralyzed by a project, sitting completely still and staring at a computer screen is the absolute worst response for your nervous system. You have to engage in physical, somatic movement to break that neurological freeze and signal to your body that you are safe. Focumi builds this into its emergency feature. If you hit a moment of total paralysis, you tap the lightning bolt button. The app temporarily hides your overwhelming to-do list. Instead, it guides you through a 60-second movement and breathing reset to physically recalibrate your nervous system. True productivity is never about strapping yourself to a desk. It is entirely about recognizing your brain's alarm system, calming the fear, and making it emotionally safe to start.